guys, it's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours where there is a lot of topics to discuss. Firstly, in the right back position, Barcelona are still in the race for Joao Cancelo. The deal is still very advanced. Hopefully it will be done soon, but the club are also planning another right back pursuit. It is not Juan Foyth, it is Ivan Fresneda. The club dream of signing both Fresneda and Cancelo this summer. Cancelo is the priority. They plan on signing one of these players, if not both. And after that, the priority, of course, will be to sign a creative midfielder. And the main target there is Giovani Lo Celso. Tottenham Hotspur are open to his exit. The club want to get him on loan with a buy option. Tottenham see him as, surplus to requirements. He was on the bench for their opener against Brentford in the league, and he was an unused substitute. Now, of course, the club could be signing another forward this summer in Joao Felix. According to reports, his loan operation is advanced to Barcelona. We are unsure at the moment if it's linked with the future of Ansu Fati, because according to reports, Ansu Fati is desperate to stay at Barcelona, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But of course, the players coming in, players will have to leave. We have an update on the transfer of Dest, where we have a club interested in him. We have of course update on Clement Lenglet, update on Alonso's exit as well, renewal update on Ter Stegen, huge injury update on Inigo Martinez, and also the big one, Araujo, who was officially injured. And finally, we'll discuss the new sporting director at Barcelona, Deco, and also some of the news on Mateo Alemán leaving. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Now, we're first going to be discussing Barcelona's current most advanced operation, and that is the signing of Joan Cancelo. There's been a lot of contradictory reports recently on Cancelo, but the main premise is that the operation is still on. Now, firstly, Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona want to keep Joan Cancelo's buy option or eventually obligation around 30 million euros, but Man City want to raise that fee considerably. Mateo Morita from Marlibo, who's been all over this operation, saying that Joan Cancelo to Barcelona is still advancing. While these reports came out, Luis Rojo from Marca came out saying that Joan Cancelo may start to look at other options like Arsenal if Barcelona do not complete the deal with Manchester City soon. So apparently Joan Cancelo now getting a bit impatient. But following this report from Luis Rojo, Fabrizio Romano, of course, again been all over this deal, alongside Mateo Morita, has come out saying the conversation for the Joan Cancelo deal are advancing very well and entering crucial stages. It's not done yet, but progressing well. Cancelo wants to go to Barcelona. It'll be a loan with a buy option. I'm told that buy option will be included. There have been discussing a loan fee as well. The buy option salary covers back Cancelo to Barcelona, but the deal is very much on. Again, Cancelo has already agreed personal terms with Barcelona. The fee that Barcelona will pay in terms of the salary has already been agreed with Cancelo. It's just now the buy option and maybe even a loan fee to agree with Manchester City. Now, the Athletic have come out saying that Manchester City are yet to receive any formal approach from either Barcelona or Joao Cancelo's agent Jorge Mendes for the transfer of the Portuguese right back to the Spanish champions. Barcelona would like to incorporate Cancelo on loan with a buy option due to FFP issues. Before the start of the window, Man City were determined to sell the Portuguese permanently. There's also strong interest from Saudi Arabia for Cancelo as well. There is a belief inside the club that the signing of such as Joan Cancelo coming on loan is feasible following the financial criteria at the club. So again, Barcelona is still confident, but this is now saying that there have been no talks with Barcelona and Man City, where you have Mateo Morita and also Fabrizio Romano coming out saying that there have been talks and the deal is advancing. I think there was when Barca Times a few days ago tweeted Mateo Morita's report that barring a last-second surprise, Cancelo will join Barcelona, the deal's advanced. Mateo Morita last night did retweet that post as well. Now, Gerard Demiro has come out saying that if the German company injected some millions out of the pending payment now, the Cancelo operation would be more successful. So far, they paid 20 million euros of the 60. So again, Barcelona still lacking some money, which of course is holding back on the ability to make some moves in the transfer window. But I cannot stress enough how important the signing of Joao Cancelo is. If we do not get this over the line, we are not going to compete at the highest level this season, in my opinion. Again, past 2 seasons, I predicted we're going to go trophyless. We did. I predicted we win 2 trophies. We won it. So my predictions have been on point recently. We need someone like Cancelo. He is one of the best right backs in the world, and not only that, he's one of the best left backs in the world as well. This man's versatility to play at both fullbacks is exceptional. Yes, there's an attitude problem, but that'll be down to Xavi to deal with. So again, we have to push this deal. I believe it's still on the table. I do hope it will happen, but in the last video I told you guys I'd hope it would be end by the end of this week, or maybe into next week a bit, but I think this will take a very long time to get over the line. I think again the deal's advancing, agreement with personal terms with Cancelo, but the deal with Man City is still delaying. Wait and see how it happens. Again, there may be a loan fee since the club want to have a buy option, not a buy obligation. I think a loan fee in the case of Cancelo makes sense. We're trying to get one of the best right backs in the world on a loan deal. Makes sense. You can maybe get that buy option to around 35-40, loan fee for 5 million. There you go. You get 45-50 million euros for Cancelo, which I think is around the price that City want. I think City want around 60 for him. So I think 60 is a fair price for Cancelo. We're just not in the position to pay for it. Also, in the last year, he hasn't done too great, so I think that does depreciate his value quite a bit. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Joao Cancelo, but no doubt the operation is still very much on the table, and you could even argue advancing. Now, along with Joao Cancelo, the club are also planning another signing in the right back position. Again, we have been linked with a lot of right backs. We've been talking about right backs the entire summer. The club are not only planning one signing in that position, but two. But the other name will not be Juan Foyth, because Gerard has come out saying that Mateo Alemán went to Valencia to have a face-to-face meeting with Villarreal for Juan Foyth. They told him to pay his release clause of 54 million euros or leave. So he left. So, I mean, very, very blunt, but there you go. They're asking for nothing but his release clause. I think 50 million for Juan Foyth is ridiculous. But again, Villarreal are at a point where they don't need sales. They've already sold some of their players like Chukwueze, where they've already earned their FFP. So they've already made their necessary sales. So that's why they're not, in the mood to negotiate with Juan Foyth. Fair enough. But there is another right back who will be Barcelona's option, and that is, of course, Ivan Fresneda. Now, the Athletic have come out saying that Deco prefers Ivan Fresneda, and Barcelona are a destination that Ivan Fresneda admires. He would be available for a fee in the region of 18 million euros, including add-ons. The coaching staff, however, have doubts about the teenager who would provide an instant improvement to the squad. Xavi prefers both Cancelo and Juan Foyth due to their experience, but any move for the latter is tough due to Villarreal demanding the release clause paid of 42 million euros for Foyth. Again, the release clause has been a bit, iffy with Foyth. A lot of people are saying that it's 42 now, but we'll rise to 54 in the last week of the window. Some people are saying it's 54 million euros now. Nonetheless, the club will not be paying the release clause for Juan Foyth. It looks like Fresneda is the only option. Again, Deco loves Fresneda. We've been hearing about this a lot over the past month, but Xavi thinks right now he's a bit too inexperienced, to rely on. But again, Moses Malloy from ESPN, he does not talk too much, but he is very reliable, and he came out saying that if Deco is now becoming the sporting director, which he has, we'll talk about that in the video, even Fresneda's arrival is now getting closer. Now, also Relevo from the base of Valladolid, so this is Valladolid reporters, they've come out saying that Deco has asked Fresneda's representatives for time to try and fit him into FFP. Barcelona presented an offer of around 8 million euros fixed plus 10 million variables for Fresneda, again that 18 million euro package including add-ons. The proposal was rejected due to other things among a payment formula that took too long, so they rejected that offer, maybe because probably that 8 million fixed was paid over 2 or 3 years, same with the variables. But two English teams are pressing to convince him and offer him a sports project that lives up to his potential. His environment would value it. Sporting and also Porto have also entered talks with Valladolid to test the feasibility of the operation. In the event that Cancelo's loan does not finally come to fruition, Fresneda will become the #1 candidate to reinforce the side. Even if Cancelo is signed, Barcelona is working hard to also make Fresneda's incorporation possible. So again, the plan for Barcelona, first and foremost, get Cancelo on a loan. If they do that, try and sign Fresneda for a good deal, and if you do end up signing him, depends on Xavi who wants to keep him. I personally would keep him. Hope we can bid off Alonso or loan him out. But if we don't get Cancelo, Fresneda, #1 target, I think his incorporation will be very, very smooth. So again, we'll wait and see. Bottom line is that right now Barcelona have to get the Cancelo operation over the line. Then after that, they can discuss with Fresneda. I think it's a good option. I personally would do it. You'd have Fresneda and Cancelo and Balde as your fullbacks, because then you'd have Cancelo and Balde starting. If Balde is injured, you put Cancelo on the left, bring in Fresneda. If Cancelo's injured, you bring in Fresneda straight up, and that way you don't have to rely on Alonso too much. And again, that could maybe even push Alonso out the door as well. So wait and see what happens. But again, the club are not only in for one right back this summer, but they're in for two. Now, following the reinforcement in the right back position, the next priority after that for Barcelona will be to sign a creative midfielder, and currently the top target is Giovani Lo Celso. Now again, the Athletic have come out saying that Giovani Lo Celso would be allowed to leave Tottenham as he was an unused sub in their league opener against Brentford away, but he is out of reach for the club since a right back seems to be the priority. Xavi and the coaching staff have been looking for a player similar to Bernardo Silva's profile, but plans have changed due to Ousmane Dembele's exit. So again, looks like, and we already knew this, that the creative midfielder was a priority ahead of a right back, but with Dembele leaving, Xavi thinks reinforcing the right back is more important. So once we reinforce the right back, we will then go out and try and sign a creative midfielder. I still think it's a very important position to sign. You have Gundogan, Frankie, Romeo, and Pedri starting. On the bench, you have, Gavi. That's pretty much it. So you need to bring in another midfielder, someone to deputize for Pedri, who again, you have to remember, is injury prone. We'll talk about Araujo later on. Araujo is injury prone. That's why you have good center backs like Koundé, Christensen, Inigo Martinez, and Eric Garcia. Also, Christensen is injury prone as well. So when you know your players have the tendency to pick up injuries once the season gets intense, you need to have suitable replacements. You cannot currently rely on Fermin Lopez. He is too young. He'll have too much pressure. You want Fermin Lopez to play those little games, maybe alongside Lo Celso in, a match at home like Cadiz, maybe later on the season, not right now. Copa del Rey, things like that. So hopefully we do sign Cancelo. Again, the rumor is the club want to try and get a loan move for him. We'll wait and see on that, but I do think Tottenham will be open to selling him, as again, he's been an unused sub for them, even though I think he impressed in the match in the Joan Gamper. Now, of course, the number one target for the creative midfielder position was Bernardo Silva. I want to talk about him very quickly, because according to Jose Alvarez from El Chiringuito TV, who again, El Chiringuito, not reliable whatsoever, but Jose Alvarez does have some good sources inside Man City around Aguero and stuff like this. He's always gotten, the rumors correct, and he came out saying, and everyone's essentially agreed, that Bernardo Silva will be extending his contract with Man City until 2026. That's confirmed, but Jose Alvarez is saying there will be a release clause of 50 million euros next summer. So if that's the case, keep your eyes on Bernardo Silva next summer. I think he'll be around 30, but the club have money. They might go for him then. 50 million euros for Bernardo Silva is a very good deal. I think more so now than in a year's time, but with the club's obsession, you just never know. So just quick update there on Bernardo. So we'll wait and see what happens with Giovani Lo Celso. I think he's a good player. Loan, buy option, 20-25 million. No risk there. He plays well. Great. Buy him. If not, don't. He's around the age of 27, 28. So I think, getting that fee on a little bit of the lower side is important. So wait and see how that goes. But firstly, of course, the club do want to reinforce the right back position. Now, a player who Barcelona have already signed but have been trying to incorporate him this summer instead of the already previously agreed 2024 is Vitor Roque. We've already known that the Atletico Madrid sporting director has been adamant about, not letting Vitor Roque join this summer, as the agreement was he'd join sometime in 2024, either January or the summer. Joan has come out saying that Barcelona continued to talk with Atletico Madrid to bring Vitor Roque this summer, but they continue to say no. At the club, the feelings are negative about him arriving this summer. So I guess it's essentially ruled out at this point, which again makes sense. We already have, I think, suitable forwards to buy from now until January, and also another Portuguese player might be coming in now. We'll talk about that later on. So understandable at this point. You already got him for a very good fee, 30 million fixed, 30 million euros in add-ons. I guess you don't want to add a more fee to get him now. It sucks that we didn't know that Dembele was going to leave, because we could have incorporated him now. Nonetheless, though, we will see Vitor Roque at some point in 2024, but very unlikely in 2023. Now, the player that we have been linked with simply on the fact that he wants to join Barcelona, and actually Barcelona are making moves to sign him this summer, is of course Joao Felix. Been a lot of reports about him over the past 24 hours. We're going to go through it. Now, of course, I'll give you guys my opinion. Firstly, La Sexta came out saying that Joao Felix is considering terminating his contract with Atletico de Madrid. And when I saw this initially, I'm thinking, oh, Joao Felix on a free transfer. Now we're talking. So it's of course better than buying him or loan fee and stuff like that. But apparently that's of course not true, as continuing reports came out saying that Atletico Madrid takes the alleged threat of Joao Felix terminating his contract as a joke. If he wants to, he'll have to pay, of course, personally his 350 million euro release clause. Joao Felix's relationship with Diego Simeone is practically broken, and with the dressing room as well. Nobody tolerates what is happening. He wants to wait until the end of the transfer market to go to Barcelona. He's already communicated this to his agent and to Atletico Madrid. He's blocking all kinds of other offers to be a Barcelona player. Again, stuff that we already knew, but he will not be becoming a free agent. Now, Mano Sanch, keep in mind, Mano Sanch is a very reliable source when it comes to Jorge Mendes clients. I think anything else, he's not it, but anything involving around Jorge Mendes, he's top. He came out saying the possibility of Joao Felix joining Barcelona is becoming increasingly likely. Deco holds a strong admiration for the Portuguese player, while Xavi is also beginning to view Felix's potential arrival positively. Atletico Madrid have set a loan fee of around 15 million euros, but that figure will be decreased as time is running out. Opting to wait until the last moment could be proved advantage for both Barcelona and Felix, and Atletico need to get rid of him, and Felix seems willing to do that. So again, talks are progressing. Loan fee will be around 15, but the club thinks they can lower that, as once you get to the last few days, Atletico Madrid will panic and they'll probably accept maybe 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there. Now, the Athletic have come out saying that Joao Felix is not a player that Xavi is considering. One of the aspects of the coaching that he does not particularly like about him is his lack of defensive effort, which of course is the reason why Diego Simeone doesn't like him and why he wasn't too successful at Chelsea either. Now, Mateo Marito has come out saying that on Joao Felix terminating his contract, those rumors from last Texas, he came out saying that I've asked, and they've asked me if I was joking with them. Atletico Madrid does not intend to terminate contract of Joao Felix whatsoever. Joao Felix continues to only think about Barcelona. There's no other option on his mind. A loan fee for Felix could be around 15 million euros. So essentially, same reports. We're hearing that it's advancing. But then last night, we got the big bomb from Demarcio. Keep in mind, Demarcio, he's, I think, top 5 best football journalist in the world. Everything he says comes to fruition at some point. He's come out saying that Barcelona and Atletico Madrid are in advanced negotiations for Joao Felix in the form of a loan, and the loan fee will be around 7 to 8 million euros. What in the actual I mean, you're gonna pay 8 million to borrow a player for a year on top of his wages just because he said he wants to play for you. We do not need Joao Felix. He does not fit Barcelona. He does not give us an advantage in the attack. We are just simply at this point doing Jorge Mendes a favor. And I'm worried now that if this deal is advancing, what is happening with the situation of Ansu Fati? Because I think if Joao Felix is coming in, I think Ansu Fati is leaving. Ain't no way we can have them both on the wage bill. So either Fati leaves permanently, loan, or resell him with a buyback option, I have no idea. But if Felix's move operation is advancing, I am super worried about the future of Ansu Fati, which we'll talk about in a few seconds. Look, I think this will be a flop. I've never been so against a signing before since I've been on YouTube. I think I cannot name you one good thing Felix will do for Barcelona. I really can't. The operation is terrible. The conditions of the deal are terrible. The player, I guess he's okay, but does not fit Barcelona whatsoever. Where's he going to play? Second striker with Lewandowski. We already have Vitor Roque coming in January for that. He's going to play on the left. You already have Ansu Yamal Abdi. He's going to play on the right. You already have Raphinha, Ferran Torres. Where does he add suitable quality for Barcelona? It's just a good player who's going to sit on the bench. That's what it is. And you're playing 8 million. That's the fixed fee right there for Ivan Fresneda, who I think will be a more impactful signing than Joao Felix. I'm just hoping that in the end, Barcelona do back out. We heard, of course, already Barcelona offered a swap deal between Felix and Ansu Fati, but Atletico Madrid said no, so thank God for that. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm hoping this is not paper talk, but again, this will not stop until this transfer window is open. Until the transfer window officially shuts, even half an hour before that, this Joao Felix operation is going to be possible, so we'll have to wait and see how things played out. But according to reports at the moment, very close to the agent of Joao Felix and also Barcelona, this deal on a loan is advancing. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up is, of course, one of the main candidates to leave, and that is Ansu Fati. Now, Mano Sanchez, again, like I said, very reliable in terms of Jorge Mendes' clients, and he is, of course, Ansu Fati and the client of Jorge Mendes. He's come out saying that Ansu Fati has decided to leave Barcelona. He is now considering which club he should join. There are also some reports saying that Jorge Mendes and Diego Simeone are trying to persuade Ansu Fati to join Atletico Madrid in that Joao Felix operation. But Mundo Deportivo, more specifically Rochelero, have come out saying that Ansu Fati and his family met yesterday and decided that Fati would attempt to gain Xavi's confidence to have more minutes of play and a spot in the starting 11. So again, Ansu Fati, he communicating still that he wants to stay at Barcelona. The report also says if things don't change, he could maybe leave in the January transfer window, which again, retrospect, completely understandable. I think Victor Navarro from Kobe also came out saying that Ansu Fati wants to stay. He's already told this to Barcelona and his agent. I'm very glad that Ansu Fati is staying strong on this, but I think in the end he will be forced out. The fact that this Joao Felix deal is at a point of advancement worries the hell out of me. There are some reports saying the club could loan Ansu Fati. They could sell him with a reasonable buyback option. Look, this is his time now. he has an opening in the team, especially with the departure of Ousmane Dembele, and on top of that, the suspension of Raphinha. He has 2 games here to show us what he's got. I really hope that Xavi gives him the go-ahead on Sunday against Cadiz. He plays well, great. Hopefully that'll push him to stay, and if he does not play well, that's a domino effect essentially. You're gambling with Ansu, because if he plays, does well, everyone will say keep him. If he does crap, everyone will say swap him for Joao Felix. So very delicate situation. I do personally would back Ansu Fati. I've been saying this throughout the whole entire summer transfer window. I want one remontada this season for Ansu. He does well, keep him. If not, at some like summer for 40 or 30 or 50 million euros, whatever the case may be. But I want to give him one more chance this season. Of course, he's been struggling with injury. I'm even seeing Real Madrid fans on El Chiringuito TV saying they would take Ansu Fati at Real Madrid, have a front 3 of Ansu, Rodrigo, and Vinicius. There's rumors about Mateo Aleban going to Tottenham. I think a lot of Tottenham fans saying they really want Ansu Fati as well. This is a player of quality and of massive potential, which the club should give him a chance for. Wait and see what happens. Again, similar with Joao Felix, this will drag on. I think if there's nothing really concrete by August the 30th, I don't think Ansu Fati will leave. I think if Ansu Fati's going to leave, he has to kind of decide a club and where he wants to go before then. I think a sale of this magnitude will need more than a day to complete. So I'll wait and see what happens. But again, the rumor is still from the Ansu Fati camp is that he wants to stay. Now, one player we can all agree that Barcelona should be getting rid of is, of course, Clement Lenglet, who is expected to decide his future in the next few days. Gerard Demers come out saying that Saudi Arabia have offered 12 million euros net salary to Lenglet, but the player continues to be unclear about being able to go to Arabia because he wants to stay in Europe, although recently he has opened the door a bit to Arabia. So again, Lenglet's only concrete offer right now is Al Nassr. He's not really too keen on it. He's trying to wait a bit. There's some reports saying that Barcelona feel that Lenglet's trying to wait for Tottenham, which again is reasonable. I'm at a point now where I just want to get rid of Lenglet by any means necessary. Also, Al Nassr are in for Aymeric Laporte, the center back from Man City, so that could maybe hinder this operation. Hopefully, Al Nassr want both and not just one center back. But again, getting rid of Lenglet's salary, absolutely crucial. He's not training with the squad. He's not, listed, registered, anything like that. He will leave the club at some point. Again, the question now is also 2 things. When? And also, what condition? Now, another player who is also on the same boat as Clement Lenglet is Sergino Dest. But the issue was, over the past, I'd say 3 or 4 weeks, no club in any way, shape, or form has been interested in Sergino Dest. Now, Gerard Demers come out saying that Dest has been offered every opportunity to leave, but right now there is no one who is interested in him for the matter of his high salary and his need of guaranteed minutes. He'll end up leaving at some point, but he doesn't have much at the moment. So Gerard Demers is still saying very confidently the club will get rid of him some way, shape, or form. We just don't know how, and we don't know when. Now, following this report, Sergino Dest went on Instagram and said farewell to AC Milan. Of course, he ended his loan at AC Milan June the 30th. It's now been about a month and a half. And now he said goodbye to AC Milan. Very weird. He said in his caption, better late than never. Bit strange in my opinion. But following that, we got some concrete links for Sergino Dest. Firstly, the news broke from Roger Toledo from Mundo Deportivo. He came out saying that PSV Eindhoven are in pole position to sign Sergino Dest on a loan. Nice and an English club are also interested, but Barcelona and PSV have a good relationship to the sponsorship agreement with Philips Ambulant TV, which of course is our sleeve sponsor. Then we had the top source in regards to PSV saying that PSV Eindhoven are interested in signing Sergino Dest on a loan, although it is possible that the Dutch club may sign him permanently. Get in, take him on a free. We don't care. Finally, Mateo Marito from Relevo came out saying that PSV Eindhoven have inquired about a loan for Sergino Dest in the last few hours. The Bournemouth option fell through out of a possible return to the Eredivisie could take shape in the coming days. So apparently Bournemouth were the English club that were interested in Dest, but then now they signed Max Aarons from Norwich. Very good deal for them, 7 million. Of course, Max Aarons linked with Barcelona in the past, linked with Bayern Munich. Probably a better player than Dest, so Bournemouth making the smart move. Nonetheless, PSV Eindhoven looks like our saving grace. Of course, Dest played for Ajax. We signed him from Ajax. Now it looks like he could be returning to the Eredivisie. PSV taken for free. I would just, I know if there's a possibility for a permanent move, the club have to pursue it. Loan, you're just gonna come back and have this same problem again. Of course, last summer, same problem with Dest. We lumped the AC Milan, like, oh, hopefully he comes back. We can just sell him quickly. Nope, same problem again. So if the club can get rid of him in any way, shape, or form, we'll absolutely take it. But looks like now we have official concrete links about a team interested in Dest, and that is PSV Eindhoven, who I believe are the champions of the Eredivisie, and hopefully in the coming days a move can come to fruition. Now, another player that could potentially be leaving Barcelona by the end of the transfer window, and his exit is kind of, started to be a thought over the past, I'd say, week and a half. That is, of course, Marcos Alonso. Now, the Athletic have come out saying that although the expectation is for both Alonso and Inigo Martinez to be registered for the second match in La Liga against Cadiz this weekend, Barcelona would be happy to let Marcos Alonso go if an entertaining offer arrives before the end of the window, as left back has disappointed in preseason. Yes, he has. He is shite. I will say this. If Marcos Alonso is not registered for the Cadiz match, I'm alive. I think Alonso will leave. If he is registered, I think that's going to be a big bummer. I think in the end, he will end up leaving. So keep your eyes on that. Look, I told you, I would get rid of Alonso, save on his salary, and bring in Fresneda. I think that would be a top move from Barcelona. Marcos Alonso offers you nothing. You already have 5 center backs. You have Eric Garcia, Inigo Martinez, Christensen, Koundé, Araujo. So you already have that center back coverage. You have the left back coverage, of course, if you sign Fresneda. You have Cancelo who can move there as well. You have Roberto there, of course, if needs be, worst case scenario. Getting rid of Alonso would be one of the biggest W's this transfer window, because one of the biggest L this board has done since being elected in 2021 is give Marcos Alonso a renewal with a €9 million salary. Whether that was agreed or not, I mean, of course, he did have a cheap salary last summer, I think 80K a week. Maybe it increased now because, we promised him and all this stuff. I don't care. Him sat on 9 million is the biggest robbery in the history of this club. I honestly got it is. So hopefully the club can resolve one of their mistakes and maybe move out Marcos Alonso. But of course the offer has to come in, interest has to be there. But again, there is a possibility he could leave. Again, watch out for his registration this weekend. If he is registered, probably end up staying. But if not, maybe Barcelona want to sell him. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. I feel like I haven't said that in forever. We do have an update on the contract renewal of the second captain of the team, Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Joao has come out saying that a few days ago there was a meeting between representatives of Ter Stegen and Barcelona for a contract renewal with a salary reduction. Of course, I think Ter Stegen's contract ends in 2026, and now's the time to start talking, see where his head's at. Of course, he's earning around 300,000 euros per week. That's got to come down. I think he could be making around, still starting goalkeeper, second captain, I think right now probably 150. What I'd do is I renew his contract now until 2028, but by 2026 I'd have his salary reduce dramatically from like 180 to like 100. That'll be my plan, but we'll see what the club does. Again, reducing the salary of Ter Stegen has been a huge problem for Barcelona recently, alongside of course Frenkie de Jong, so doing that would be an absolute plus. He's happy in Barcelona, starting keeper, best keeper in the world, second captain. I don't think he can get much happier than that, so hopefully we can make some progression. This will probably be, September, October, November, December time. If you can renew me before the January transfer window, that'd be awesome, but of course the club does leave stuff for the last second and move quite slow a bit. But the initial talks have begun, which is a positive sign on the contract renewal of Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 48 hours. Quickly, an update on the suspension of Raphinha and Xavi has now been confirmed by multiple sources that they will be suspended for 2 matches. Apparently Barcelona won their appeal for Raphinha, which I am genuinely shocked about, but they did not appeal Xavi's 2-game ban. They left it as is, so they will both miss, of course, this weekend Cadiz at home, and then next weekend Villarreal away. That's official and confirmed. Thank God Raphinha didn't get that 3-game ban that was initially put out. Of course, Xavi's initial one was 2, so he's set at 2. So again, no Raphinha or Xavi for the next 2 matches. Let's now discuss some injury updates surrounding the first team at Barcelona. Officially, now the club have 2 players on the injury list. We know that Inigo Martinez is already injured, but now a new one has been put on the list. And guess who it is? It is Ronald Araujo. Am I surprised? Absolutely friggin' not. This man is the most injury-prone player I think I've ever seen in my life. The club, out of nowhere, released an official statement saying that Ronald Araujo has suffered an injury to his left hamstring. He is out now, and the evaluation of his injury will mark his availability. I'm thinking, what the F is going on here? I don't know if he's injured in training. I don't know if this is from the Getafe match, but of course we got the reports from Jaime Miguel from AS, the injury man. He's come out saying that Ronald Araujo will be out for at least 1 month. The agenda for Araujo is to be fit for the first match in the Champions League on September the 19th or 20th. So 100% he's not playing against Cadiz, he's 100% not playing against Villarreal, he's 100% not playing against Osasuna, and then you have the 2-week international break, and his plans to be back after that. Hopefully it's not the case. I mean, hopefully it is the case, sorry. The issue with Araujo is that he gets these niggling weird injuries where he's out for a month. So I think there's a report from Mundo Deportivo that came out saying that Araujo has had 13 injuries since being a first team player at Barcelona, and only one of them was serious. That's of course the one before the World Cup last year when he was out for around 2 or 3 months and had the surgery. My man picks up niggling hamstring injuries left, right, and center. It is ridiculous. He's one of the most fragile players I've ever seen in my life. He's on course for Ousmane Dembele injury-prone status, because if he gets injured one more time this year, he's out for 1 or 2 months. I'll be fuming. Again, with Araujo, take care of him. Do not rush him back. We have enough quality. This is why you need 5 center backs, because not only Araujo's like this, Christensen's like this as well, and that's why you need Koundé. Losing Koundé this summer would have been detrimental. He's one of the best center backs in the world, and also he is fit as a rock, so keeping him is important. But it sucks for Araujo. He's injured. We'll see him and hopefully in the first match in the Champions League, if not maybe the league match after that, but he will be out for around a month. But of course, hopefully, positively, his replacement, Inigo Martinez, will be back very soon. Alfredo Martinez came out saying that Inigo Martinez is already doing part of the training with the group and could make his debut against Villarreal next weekend. Javi Miguel from AES came out saying that Inigo Martinez is already in the final stretch of his recovery and could receive the medical green light in around 10 days. His debut could be against Villarreal next weekend. He's 100% ruled out for this weekend's match against Cadiz. So again, we got Inigo Martinez coming back, big plus for Barcelona. Again, not fully fit, so you have to come in against Villarreal, get match rhythm, match sharpness. I don't think he'll be up to scratch. At the moment, we will see a lot of Christensen, Koundé, and Eric Garcia at center back. That is for sure, but we can hopefully rely on Inigo Martinez later on. I think Inigo Martinez is better than Eric Garcia. I think he has that veteran, style to him. Very smart, very experienced as well. This is why we signed him to, cover for this injury-prone Araujo. So hopefully he is back very soon, and he can come in and be a good debutant for Araujo. Now, the final topic that I wanted to discuss before I end off this video is give you guys probably the biggest update around Barcelona over the past 48 hours, and that is that officially Deco has been appointed as the new sporting director. We all thought it was going to happen on July the 1st. We then thought it was going to happen after preseason, then after the Joan Gamper. But it's finally happened. The club have released an official statement saying that Barcelona and Deco have reached an agreement for his incorporation into the club as a sporting director, and he does sign a 3-year contract. Deco will be in charge of creating the squad together with the coach and the technical staff and becoming the most responsible for the football section. So Deco takes full control of running the first team and also Barca Athletic. You're probably wondering what's going to happen with Mateu Alemán. The club also said in the statement, Mateu Alemán has agreed to leave his responsibilities after the end of the current transfer window. Deco and Alemán will work together now until the end of this summer transfer market. So Alemán will officially leave Barcelona, and we do know the reasons why. Again, it does make sense in retrospect. I think Alemán and Deco would have made a great team, but in the end, there were promises and stuff that were made. Now, Javi Miguel from AS came out saying that those who look for discrepancies between Xavi and Deco are going to have a hard time. They have the same vision of football and the needs of the team. So good to know that Deco and Xavi are on the same page, and hopefully they can, agree on many of the decisions and also on the signings. Now, the Athletic have come out saying that after Alemán announced he was leaving the first time, Laporta appointed Deco's request for full control. When Alemán decided then to come back, Deco reportedly didn't like it because he interfered with his plans. The change made official today were a signal for Laporta to Deco that he would keep his promise to allow him to have full control over the sporting decisions going forward. So Deco only wanted to come if he got full control. Again, he had his agency, D20 agency. He didn't really want to leave that. He'd only leave that if he got full control. Laporta said yes. He gave him full control. He then left his agency, started to, discontinue it. Alemán then came back. Deco's like, what the heck? I've already, left everything that I created behind. So Laporta has kept his word essentially to Deco. Now, Alemán isn't too upset. Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that when Alemán announced his departure in May, Deco and Juan Laporta have already agreed for the former to have the full control over Barcelona's sporting sector, from supervising the professional team to the youth and grassroots footballs, and also negotiation, in which Alemán was the specialist. Alemán then returned, but now he understands that the new cycle is starting with Deco's arrival, and he no longer has a place. Deco has been working actively in communication with Laporta, Rafael Uste, Alemán, also Xavi. Deco is getting along very well with Barcelona athletic coach, of course, Rafa Marquez, and he also met again with Julian Belotti, who returned as the assistant coach of Juvenil A at the beginning of the summer, and Jose Ramon will continue in the youth football section of the club. So Alemán kind of understands the situation. Look, my time is up. He's been given the promise, and you know what, I was kind of umming and ahhing about my future. Apparently now Tottenham Hotspur are very interested in signing Mateu Alemán as their sporting director. I think losing Mateu Alemán is a big loss for Barcelona. I think his negotiation is, spot on, getting world-class deals for Barcelona, understanding FFP. Hopefully Deco can overtake that. I think it's a big risk from Laporta. I think Laporta's dream would have been to have both Deco and Alemán, but Deco, of course, made those sacrifices. He's already committed, and Laporta didn't want to go back on his word, which makes sense. Good to know that the Deco and Xavi do agree on many things. We'll have to wait and see how Deco operates in the market. I think the only deal that he's done right now is the Vitor Roque operation, which of course has been fantastic. Again, big few years ahead for him. I think losing Aleman for Barcelona is a big loss. Don Mateo Aleman, I will never forget you. Absolute legend for Barcelona. Though he did leave and come back, which was a bit weird, but he went and saw Birmingham. He's like, nah, bun that. Came back, which is, understandable. So that's the new, changes for Barcelona in the sporting sector. So from now on, it'll be Laporta, Deco, and Rafael Uste and Xavi making those decisions. There will be no longer Mateo Aleman following the end of the current transfer window. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want first, of course, is your thoughts on the right back situation. Do you think we'll sign Cancelo and Fresneda? One of them, both of them, or neither of them? Second, your thoughts on the Barcelona on the operation for Giovani Lo Celso. Think it's a good signing? Would you do it or not? Thirdly, your thoughts on the future of both Joao Felix or Ansu. Firstly, Joao Felix, what are your thoughts on the operation? Would you do it or not? Secondly, on Ansu Fati, what are your thoughts on his operation? Would you do it or not? And finally, your thoughts on those sales for Sergino Dest and Clement Lenglet, which of course is very vital for Barcelona. Do you think they'll end up executing these sales or not? And how much you think will recuperate in transfer fees? And of course, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.